Ladies and gentlemen of IAAPA, thank you very much for coming to the Dynamic Attractions booth in our press event for today. Welcome, and it is my honor and privilege to tell you a little bit about our organization and about our fearless leader, the man standing to my right. Dynamic Attractions has entered into the realm of total attraction as comprehensive design and fabrication services, leveraging our legacy and prowess, our engineering prowess from the Vancouver office and application facilities there and in China, and now with our Orlando Attraction Development Center here in Florida. All of this was part of the vision of the man to my right, the CEO of Dynamic Attractions, our very own Guy Nelson. A round of applause.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. We were expecting about 4 people here. What's this all about? No, it's a fun time to be here. I guess it was a year ago we said we're going to open up an office in Orlando, which we did. And today I'd like to say that it's been very successful. It's been well received. We've got, I guess, we were sometimes the people that observe the obvious. There's a lot of customers here, as you can probably see. So we had to be here. We made a commitment to be here, and we did that. Today I can announce that we've doubled ourselves. We now have 60,000 square feet here. I wasn't supposed to spend numbers, but we call it a big number. It's a big commitment to the city. We've doubled our employment here over the last year. Again, geez, but we can't get sidetracked. Let me tell you. No, seriously. So in doubling in size, again, we continue to manufacture, design, and build things in Vancouver and in China, if things are going in China, in that part of the world. But we're very excited. We're happy that you're all here. I wanted to, I don't know what on the agenda, but I do want you to introduce the 3 people that have made a lot of things happen this week. It's the demonstrations. George will talk a little bit about that, but you would say, what do you need 60,000 square feet for? Well, we feel that our customers need more. They need collaborative. They need they don't need a vendor. They need a partner to help them bring the best attractions to life. We build the best attractions. Our motto is anything you dream we can build. And so we need space to do that. And that's what we're doing. So people on, we're going to introduce everyone, but George is our creative guru. I'll say that we won the award for Best Booth yesterday in this place, in this big hall. And that's, again, the creative prowess of George here. So George will introduce the rest of the team. But all of these people, I was actually apologizing to Mike, to his wife and his daughter, that we've been stealing his dad for 20-hour days the last 6 weeks. But we had to do that because our demonstration center, we actually have a lot of stuff over there that we're showing to partners of ours. And that's working out incredibly well. So, George, it's over to you, and I want to thank you for coming. And we won't be saying we're double next year. Just double the business is all. No, sorry. But the space, people are going to be okay. So, you're good.
Thank you very much, Guy. My name is George Walker, and I'm a Vice President of Creative Development, and these are my colleagues. Guy Nelson lovingly calls us his dynamic trio, and the 3 of us actually were the 3 points of the triangle, which was the birth of our triangle logo, where the idea of the dynamic triangle came from. Cindy Emmerich is the Vice President of New Business Development, and she actually, this is a banner year for Dynamic Attractions. Part of the reason why we are doubling in size is that we have opened 11, or contributed greatly to 11 new attractions and projects around the world, and so thank you for that. And so we're very, very proud of those, some of which we can talk about, some of which we can't, but we're very proud of all of the companies that we were honored to work with and happy to be part of, and proud of those projects that have opened around the world. And then next to her is Mike Hinkson, Vice President of Technical Development, and I call him the wizard behind the curtain. And speaking of technical development, we are in our Orlando Attraction Development Center. We are working on all kinds of new, cool, top secret technologies and neat things. We outgrew our space in 1 year's time, and part of what has made that all possible is the brain inside that man's head and the team and partners that we have been working with the best the folks here on this show floor, the best partners around the industry to bring the next coolest, best gadgets and technology to the next generation of great attractions. And then, of course, the other thing that we're very excited to talk about today, and we just learned yesterday that we won the IAAPA Brass Ring Award for Best New Attraction Concept, and that is for our motion theater. And we've got a little video that shows what that dynamic motion theater does, and that'll be playing on the screen here. And then we're excited to reveal our miniature model of that. So if I could direct your attention to the right, your left, my right, and this is just a little hint of what the dynamic motion theater's capabilities are. So if I could ask my team to join me here as we reveal the miniature model. There it is. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And so again, just to quickly explain, it does have screens that rotate around the theater. This allows for neat reveals that can take place. So as the audience loads, they don't, when they first enter, they don't really know what to expect. Then they'll get some media content on the screens. Once those screens open, we can give them a controlled view shed, a narrow view shed, so to reveal some scenery and special effects and perhaps even live performance. That space can then open even wider to reveal a bigger set than they thought, all while the seat is moving and following along like the camera would in an action sequence in a film. It can then rotate around to the next scene where we reveal again even more scenery and so on and so forth. The possibilities are really unlimited. And so that is the dynamic motion theater. And I'll turn it back over now to Guy Nelson, and if there are any questions.
This particular one, what makes this unique? Well, I said the motion of the theater, for one thing, is that it really does not just rotate in the, it does all sorts of, it must be on low battery here. But that's one of the things, is that the most important thing in media-based attractions is to marry motion most effectively with all of the content, with all of the intellectual property, with all of the storytelling. And to do that motion in an effective way, iterating slowly, or just on one dimension or two dimensions there, doesn't do it. So this particular one gets all 100 people or more into the scene, to the guest experience. Would you have that would be, I don't know. That's good. And by the way, there's a lot of mechanical movement by engineers back there shaking their heads about doing that. So it's a complicated underbelly of what has to happen.
Awesome. Is it accessible for people with disabilities?
Yes.
The question was, is it accessible for people with disabilities? And the answer is yes, of course. It would meet all of those requirements. And it would be, because it's a theater environment, it's actually an identical experience. Nothing about the experience would change with any disability.
What's up? How big's your wallet? Of course, we can scale up. Right, this one here is designed for. We built one that's operating now. It's 100 people, but it can scale up. But of course, the engineering and the math and it gets more complicated, more expensive the bigger you get.
It can also scale down, and that would give you a more intimate experience if you wanted to as well. It also helps it fit into smaller footprints or hit smaller demographic target audiences if you don't need the capacity quite as high.
So the question there, I'm told that you might not have heard, but can you scale up? And of course we can. Any other questions by anybody on this or anything? Or not anything? We're actually limited to what we talk about.
Is autism friendly for people or
Is it which?
autism?
We haven't got to that level of detail before. Autism friendly.
That's a good
That's
question.
a good one. We'll get back to it on this. So
I
that's,
think part of that would come out in the specific creative content, so in terms of like loud noises, flashes of light, things like that. That would probably vary on a project-to-project basis based on what the intellectual property is and what the creative intent was. Autism has a very wide range of functionality too.
Brendan? Height requirements, George? Height requirements. On this, height requirements. There isn't.
Well,
we can make the height requirements to almost any age. We see this as a family attraction, so we would look to be at least 36 to 40 inches is probably a minimum height. It does move, and we would have seat belts, so we're not talking about infants and baby carriages or anything like that.
We designed everything around Mike's daughter over here. How tall are you?
No, I think that's a good point, generally speaking, is that most of our media-based attractions are geared towards a broad demographic. We're not looking at 14, 15-year-old boys. We're looking at a broad family range, and that's the beauty of media-based attractions in our mind, that we can introduce content and IP into a motion base that is gentle enough but aggressive enough to get a broad demographic. All right.
So I think that's it.